Here he spirals down to a turnaround. Crossover, 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 crossover. It's good cadence in the turn. He holds a head set in the turn. Stops when I ask him, then comes out, makes another nice transition to the canter. Yeah, here I think we're going to gallop him a little bit. Well, maybe I'm wrong. There we go. A little lengthened stride and compression, I think. Transition from the canter to the jog trot again. Two-track across at the jog trot. Fairly difficult movement. The stride at a jog trot doesn't have quite enough impulsion as we'd like to get a two-track, but that's kind of the nature of a jog trot. Here we're going to extend that trot a little bit. Same thing, he's maintaining light in one hand. Pretty good body frame throughout this whole work. Transition to the canter out of a working trot. Does a nice job. Stop, comes back in the roll back, makes a half turn, canters out all in one movement over his haunches. We like that. Again, he's not showing any resistance on the line. He's pretty much able to ride any line that I ask him to ride. Doesn't have a lot of resistance to the neck rein. Another good roll back. Now there he made a little mistake. He asked him to come out of the roll back and he didn't quite pick up the canter the way I want. Overturned the roll back a little bit. We kind of there he does a nice job on it. Just a collected canter up to a stop where he sits on his haunches, half turn, comes out of a roll back, right first stride at the canter, no trot step in between, leg yield off the left leg from the right lead change at the end of the leg yield, another nice job. Loose rein. Now we're really going to ask him to extend on a loose rein, and we really like that. This horse didn't show any signs of charging or anticipating or building speed before we asked him. He stayed at a collected canter. When I dropped the reins, he didn't run off. He waited to be asked, and here he's running a pretty nice large fast circles round. Again, he's got a good body frame. He's holding an inside arc to the body. Ask him to come back to the collected canter in a smaller circle. He shows a lot of good speed contrast. Doesn't break on the compression as he comes back to the small slow. Again, another good stop. He's going to show he's willing to stand here and wait for a half hour if I ask him. Back up. Again, we want him standing still at the end of the back up, so he asks for the next maneuver, which is a turn. Good crossover in the turnaround, pretty good cadence. Just a little up in his head here for a couple of the crossovers. And then stand and wait. Head set. Drop the rein. We want him to continue to halt. When I drop the rein loose like that, we don't want him to move a foot, but we want him to wait until he's asked to walk. And as we ask him to walk, we don't want a mistaken wire there that he goes off to a jog trot or mistakes it for a cue to canter forward just from a dead standstill on a loose rein. Both legs in pluck for a transition to a flat walk on a loose rein. Then we pick him up, set his head again. We don't want any resistance in his steering or his face. As I picked him up off the flat walk, he just sets his head, continues to flat walk. Here I go from the flat walk with his head set to a collected walk for a couple of strides, then back to a loose rein. It's the same thing. We want smooth transitions there. When we give him a loose rein, we don't want any indication that he's going to take off without being requested to. Again, collected walk here, set his head. Shows a little more reluctance to move forward in a collected walk. There he kind of half-passed into a turnaround. And again, starting to set the pivot foot down for the first two turns there was a little bit better. Backing off the pivot foot in the middle too, and then kind of setting it down still, which at this stage we expect him to do that. The turnarounds we're concerned with the body frame, his headset, the lightness of the rein, his willingness to hold speed and hold cadence in the turnaround, and the steadiness of the crossover as we turn around. 1, 2, 3, 4, right foot crossover. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we don't like to see his hind ends swapping ends or making big moves, which he does pretty nicely in the turnaround. Pretty much his hind end ends the same place the turnaround starts, even though it isn't drilling a hole with his pivot foot. And good transition to the canter. He waits. Okay, you never get the feeling looking at him there that he's not willing to walk for 2 miles, or when we ask him to canter that he's not willing to make that a nice transition up to the canter right when we're requesting it. And here's the same thing. We're going to extend him from the collected canter. We like that. We like nice smooth extension. The horse doesn't throw his head up or bolt or take the look that he's running off without you. He lengthens stride. We want that as steady or steadier than the way he comes back and shortens his stride. We like to see the extended canter go from maybe a 6-foot stride to a 7-foot, 8-foot, 9-foot, 10-foot, or 6-foot to 8-foot, 10, 12. In other words, smooth acceleration through the extension. Here he takes a loose rein really nice. We started out with an extended canter in his headset. Didn't have a lot of resistance. And then I'm dropping a loose rein, giving him freedom in the head, and he's still maintaining the same pace after we give him freedom of the face. His nose might come out a little bit, but he's not taking that freedom like he's scared of a restriction and he's going to run away as soon as he has a chance, or accelerate without control. Again, nice stop. Stand still, don't move, keep his head set, wait for me to give him his head. Real nice. I put a slack in the reins, he's going to stand still. There he made a couple steps that were unhasped for, but overall now he's standing pretty nice. And I ask him to walk, same thing, he makes a nice transition to the flat walk on a loose rein, and that would be the end.